The first step is to download your pattern. Select your pattern according to your paper format and the size you wish to make. Print your pattern at 100% scale. Trim the borders and match along the edges. There is a layout included in the instruction guide to help you put all the pages together. Cut around each individual pattern piece and lay onto your fabric. There is also a cutting layout to assist you included with the instructions. Cut according to the individual directions marked on each piece. Fold in the tuck on the front piece. The pattern is marked with arrows and notches. Pin in place and repeat for the other side of the front piece so that you have a pair. Stitch along the top edge to secure. Place the back piece on top of the front piece with the right sides touching one another. Stitch along the outside leg and inner leg using a 1 cm or 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Overlock the edges and repeat for the other leg. Place a front hem facing on top of the back hem facing with the right sides touching one another. Stitch at the side seams using a 1 cm or 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Overlock the seams. Then overlock around the top unnotched edge of the hem facings. Repeat for the other set of hem facings. Pin the hem facings to the hem edge with the right sides touching one another. Stitch along the hem edge using a 6 mm or 1/4 inch seam allowance. Fold the hem facing back and press well. Understitch the hem facing so that the seam allowance is stitched down towards the hem facing and away from the main garment. Repeat for the other leg. Press a hem under towards the inside of the garment and pin in place. Use a hand sewing needle to secure the hem facing to the main garment. Be sure to only catch a few threads at a time so that the stitching is invisible. If you'd like, you can also top stitch the hem facing with the sewing machine. Stitch 2 cm or 6/8 of an inch from the edge. Repeat for the other leg. Match the crotch curves of the two legs together with the right sides touching one another. Stitch from the front to the back of the crotch, stopping at the first notch on the back. Overlock the crotch curve, but keep the centre back seam overlocked separately so we can insert the zipper later. Pin the waistband pieces together at the side seam. You will have cut enough pieces to repeat this step twice. Stitch using a 1 cm or 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Open the seam and press flat. There is no need to overlock this seam. Repeat for the other set of waistbands and set one aside for later. Pin the waistband to the top edge of the waist. Match the notches as you go. Stitch together using a 6 mm or 1/4 inch seam allowance and press well. Pin the zipper in place along the centre back edge. Using an invisible zipper foot, stitch each side of the zipper down. You can see I'm now repeating this step for the other side of the zipper. Close the zipper and press well. Pin the opening at the base of the zipper closed and stitch to join the crotch stitching up with the stitching at the base of the zipper. Next, pin the second set of waistbands along the top edge with the right sides touching one another. Stitch using a 6mm or 1/4 inch seam allowance. Stop 5 cm or 2 inches away from the centre back edge. Press the waistbands open and understitch the waistband 3mm or 1/8 of an inch from the seam edge. Stop 7 cm or 3 inches from the centre back edge. I've put a pin in place to guide me. Fold the waistband edge down 6mm or 1/4 of an inch and press well all around the edge. Fold the waistband down so that the right sides of the waistband are touching one another. Pull the waistband 1 cm or 3/8 of an inch beyond the centre back seam. Pin in place and stitch along the centre back edge, securing it to the zipper tape. Repeat for the other side of the waistband. Roll the zipper tape back so the tape is facing away from the centre back edge. Stitch along the top waistband edge that was left open. Your stitching lines will meet up. Trim the excess zipper tape at the top and pull through to the right side. Pull the waistband back through to the right side and pin down along the seam edge. You want the 6mm or 1/4 inch edge that we pressed down earlier to be completely on the inside. Using a hand sewing needle, stitch the lower edge of the waistband down. If you'd prefer, you can use the machine to ditch stitch to hold the waistband down instead. Secure with a knot at the end.